It's the most powerful show on television. High drama with intense energy. A show dedicated to a few brave souls who risk their lives for the sake of their craft. Its in-depth reporting goes to the core and unlocks the mysteries behind today's raciest sport. Motorsports. Catch it when you can.
Speed Station welcomes you to the Bristol Motor Speedway Dirt Track in Bristol, Tennessee for the running of the Food City Dirt Race. And so, folks, tonight we'll be utilizing the short track format once again, and so that means that to make the race, you have to first make it through the heat races. No single car qualifying ran this weekend. Instead, we will have two heats in its place. Heat number 1 sets the inside lane. The competitors in Heat 1 are determined by the odd-numbered runners in the regular season point standings at the moment, so first, third, so on, so forth. Heat number 2 sets the outside lane of the feature event. The drivers in Heat 2 are obviously the even-numbered competitors in the point standings, second, fourth, so on, so forth as well. We have 60 cars on the entry list. That means we have 22 drivers going home at the conclusion of these heats with a 38-car field. Both heats will consist of 50 laps, with 19 cars getting in from each heat. And once you make it through the heats and into the feature event, it will be a 150-lap feature, with Stage 1 ending on lap 40 and Stage 2 ending on lap 90. And because we are not holding single-car qualifying, the driver from this race that will get an automatic advancement into next season's Busch Clash will be whoever sets the fastest lap in the feature. After the Pinty's truck race on dirt, as you may recall, Kyle Busch turned the number 45 truck of Ryan Unziker into the backstretch pit road attenuator wall after the caution had already been out for about 10 to 15 seconds. And because this happened under yellow, NASCAR has forced Kyle Busch to set out of the Food City Dirt Race. The driver of the number 18 car for this weekend is John Hunter Nemechek, who ironically enough drives for Kyle Busch Motorsports in the Camping World Truck Series and finished second to Kyle at Kentucky Motor Speedway last year in the Cup Series race, which is what led to John Hunter being signed to drive the Ford truck. So it's entirely possible that Kyle Busch may be funding his own replacement. We'll see how John Hunter's first start in the 18 car this year goes. Right now, we have not gotten word from NASCAR of whether or not the suspension will be multi-race. But we know, at the very least, that Kyle Busch will be taking a big hit in regular season points by being absent from the Food City Dirt Race. In your regular season point standings entering tonight's race at the Bristol Motor Speedway Dirt Track, Kevin Harvick still sets atop the point standings by 19 markers above the second place runner Joey Logano. Then Denny Hamlin, 27 points out of the point lead. Matt DiBenedetto, fourth in points, 46 points out. Chase Elliott, fifth in the point standings, 58 points out of the lead. Eric Jones, still with a phenomenal season in the 37 for JTG Doherty Racing. He resides sixth in the standings, 59 points out of the lead. Brad Keselowski, the 88 car, is seventh in the point standings, 72 points back. Martin Truex Jr. is eighth in the standings, 74 points out of the lead. Clint Boyer, in his final Cup Series season, making his first Cup Series start on dirt. It's been a dream of his. Currently resides ninth in the point standings, 79 points out of the lead. And Alex Bowman, best of the rest from last season, first year in the number 48 car, currently resides 10th in the standings, 83 points out of the point lead. Also keep in mind that last week's winner, Kyle Larson, after scoring the late race victory in the Coca-Cola 600, he currently resides 14th in the point standings, 93 points out of claiming the point lead. Once again, Kyle Larson got the call to drive NASCAR's Spec Next Gen test car, this time at the Bristol Motor Speedway Dirt Track. He, in fact, is a winner on dirt in a stock car before. As you recall, back in 2016, he won at Eldora in the Camping World Truck Series. So not only is he an experienced dirt racing driver in respective dirt racing leagues, but also in our own sport. But Larson stated some very interesting things after the test session, in particular pertaining to the chassis that Dallera built for this race car. So the initial fears about the next generation car running on dirt was that it was, in a way, built like a road car. It'd be like trying to run a GT3 car on a dirt track. It just didn't sound like it would work. But as I reported about a month or so ago, Dallera has been trying to develop a purpose-built dirt racing chassis for the next generation car, which will only be utilized on the dirt tracks. Now, obviously, the initial goal of the next gen car was to ensure that they had one car that could run everywhere. But, quite frankly, you can't build any asphalt car that runs good on dirt. So what Dallera did, they built a purpose-built dirt racing chassis for this race car, and as you can tell by this footage here, Larson was perfectly able to slide the car out. It was picking up the left front tire, and it was steering with the right rear. In dirt racing, you essentially steer the car with your right foot. Your throttle pedal more than you ever steer with the steering wheel. You're just trying to correct any potential spins with your steering wheel. You're not really turning with it. And this race car responded in ways that you would expect out of, say, a dirt late model more than what you would expect out of a Generation 6 Cup car that we currently run. So my first expectation is this car will likely turn in faster lap times next season, more on par to what you would see in a traditional dirt race at this facility in comparison to when our big heavy stock cars run here. Because even knowing this car still has all the weight, it does have the handling characteristics more similar to that of a dirt racing car. You're never going to get exactly there unless you cut all the weight off and more or less redesign the entire car. However, this is closer to what I think a lot of fans would enjoy out of NASCAR Cup Series competition on dirt. Hello everyone, welcome back to the NASCAR Cup Series ride-along segment. Today we are back in the test car, prepping for the Food City Dirt Race, NASCAR's first Cup Series race on dirt in 51 years. The long-awaited return. I'll tell you what, this is definitely a driver's racetrack. But SMI, since the Camping World Truck Series race ran, they have decided to wet down the top of the racetrack to try and move the groove up the racetrack from where it was in the truck race. As you recall, in the Camping World Truck Series event, a lot of drivers were hugging right down on the bottom, which is actually what led to a couple of those attenuator accidents. However, here, SMI has wetted down the very top of the track, making it very tacky. So you can really roll the top of the racetrack and build that momentum down the straightaways. It's all about keeping your momentum up when you're running the high line and trying to really ride that cushion. And a big thing about dirt racing that you won't see in most asphalt races is the ability to modulate the throttle, because like I mentioned in pre-race, your ability to run fast is really determined by how well you can keep traction. And that is mainly done with your right foot on a dirt track, because like I said, you're more or less steering just to try and keep the car going forward, not necessarily to turn. However much you use your right foot on the throttle pedal is how much you can actually get the car to skew out and make the corner. And believe me, these few taps I've been making up into the outside wall, that will not hurt this race car. Aero does not matter at this racetrack whatsoever. Pretty much every car is going to look like they survived Talladega and Martinsville in the same night, and this race is only going to be about 150 laps. But having to go through both the heats and the feature, these cars are going to be very, very beat up by the end of the night. And you're really going to have to earn your money here at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track to try and take home the prize and become the first Cup Series winner on dirt since 1970 at the Raleigh Fairgrounds in Raleigh, North Carolina. And so there's a few laps around the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track and a NASCAR Cup Series car. Should be a very fun race here tonight. So the starting lineup for heat number one obviously was set by the drivers who currently set in the odd-numbered positions in points, first, third, fifth, so on and so forth. And this heat, the starting grid, was actually determined by a random draw. And through that randomization, Tyler Reddick will start in the pole spot of heat number one above Josh Bilicki, the Daytona 500 winner, William Byron in the 24 car, his teammate Chase Elliott in fourth, Kurt Busch fifth, Anthony Alfredo in sixth, Brandon Jones in seventh, Sheldon Creed trying to attempt his first NASCAR Cup Series start in eighth position. Another driver who is attempting to make his first start is Shane Golobic in the 78 for Live Fast Motorsports. He will start in ninth position, and Austin Cindric will start in 10th spot. Keep in mind that you have to finish in the top 19 out of this heat race to make the feature event, and unlike the heat races that we ran at Louisville Motor Speedway to make the Quaker State 400, here at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track, there will be a full field inversion before we start the feature. So that means whoever wins this heat race will start all the way back in 37th position, and whoever just gets in by the skin of their teeth in 19th spot out of this heat will start in the pole spot for the feature event. Also keep your eyes on the number 18 car of John Hunter Nemechek, making his first start for Joe Gibbs Racing after Kyle Busch's suspension. He starts in 19th spot, which means he will be getting the green flag in the final transfer position. That's going to be the spot that we're going to see a whole lot of battling throughout the course of tonight's event. Quite a few drivers who are above the transfer line right now could potentially fall back. Someone like, say, Josh Bilicki, who has little to no dirt racing experience. Anthony Alfredo, someone like that. Rico Abreu, Chris Windham. Several ringers are in this field as well who are starting outside of the transfer position, so they could very well make it in to the feature event over the course of the 50-lap heat race. And so now let's get down trackside for the command.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Nice and easy, long day. It's going to be a lot of adjustments. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. This is a real race here. We're going to have a blast tonight. I can't wait to get out there and get going.
Pace cars off. Reddick leading the field onto the front straightaway. And there's the green flag for heat number 1 here at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track. Reddick sends it in the middle lane, entering turn number 1. He's going to easily take the lead off of the number 71 car, Josh Bilicki, as Bilicki really did not put up much of a fight there through turns 1 and 2. William Byron down on the inside. He's going to try and take up second spot. You see Stuart Friesen down on the bottom, getting underneath the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Friesen won the Pinty's truck race on dirt. Try and go 2 for 2 this weekend. We also have the 25 car of Sheldon Creed down on the inside, going almost 4 wide to try and take up the third spot. 71 car up into the outside wall. Bilicki walls it pretty good on the exit of turn number 4. Quite a bit of right side damage on the Tommy Baldwin Racing Chevrolet. William Byron's now starting to put some pressure on the 8 car of Tyler Reddick out front. Reddick gets just a little bit up into the cushion. 24 car down on the inside trying to take advantage of it. As I mentioned, SMI put moisture down up on the top few grooves to try and make it a little bit less of a bottom-feeding racetrack, but still, the middle lane prevails with William Byron taking away the race lead, so it still does favor some of the lower lanes. Yellow flag is out for the first time in heat number 1. Racing back to the flag, it was William Byron, your race leader, above Tyler Reddick. Then third position was Shane Golobic. Fourth was Sheldon Creed, and fifth was Stuart Friesen, racing his way all the way up into the top 5. Currently, your final transfer position is being held by Michael McDowell with the 18 car of John Hunter Nemechek. He has actually dropped down to 23rd position. So here's what happened on lap number 3, racing for the final transfer position. The number 61 of Christopher Bell makes contact with the 95 of Harrison Burton, turning him down on the inside while on the front stretch, but believe it or not, it's not over yet. Then on the exit of turn number 2, the 53 of Briscoe makes contact with the 88 car of Brad Keselowski, turning the 88 down into the 95 and sending Burton around. With Keselowski getting some left side damage as well, 95 car just barely misses the outside wall. It's possible that being involved in that accident might not knock the number 95 car out of contention of making the feature, because obviously aerodynamics is not that crucial at this racetrack. He really didn't get that much damage from being turned to the inside wall, so it's entirely possible that Harrison Burton could still make the feature. But Harrison's got his work cut out for him, as he has to make up a full 11 positions to get into the final transfer spot, as Burton has dropped down to 30th, which is currently the last place position. You know, here's a driver that we expected to run quite a bit better than he is right now. Clint Boyer, in his final NASCAR Cup Series season, currently resides in 24th position outside of a transfer spot. You'd expect, because of his background coming from dirt late model racing, that he would definitely be a front runner so far, but it's entirely possible he could still carve his way to the front of the field, but right now it's not looking too good. And these heat races are not very long, so you have to make your moves early. You know, how about Daniel Suarez in the 00 car? He has actually never ran a dirt race in anything over the course of his entire racing career, but he currently resides in 10th position. It looks like he has a good shot at transferring. And lights are off this time by. Pace car is going to be hitting the pits. Number 24 car of William Byron leading the field out of turn number 4 onto the front stretch and into the restart zone. On lap number 9, there's the green flag. Here comes the 8 car of Reddick trying to jump up to the outside of the 24. Oh, but does the fake out. Now gets to the bottom of William Byron, pressuring him on the exit of turn number 2. Norm Benning hits pit road, potentially overheating trouble on the 84 car. An unfortunate story there. Golobic getting up into this battle. Byron using momentum off the top. Looks like he clears the 8 car of Reddick at the stripe, but here comes the 8 back down on the inside. Reddick as well comes from a dirt racing background, primarily late models, and now clears the number 24 car of Byron for the race lead. There you see the 84 of Benning dropping 1 lap down. Here comes Byron back down to the inside. A great battle between these 2 front runners. Byron once again is going to take the race lead away. This back and forth style racing is what you see out of a well-prepared dirt track. And here comes the 8 car of Reddick back down to the inside. These 2 swapping lanes practically every single set of corners. This time the 24 prevails using momentum off the high line. Brandon Jones really trying to use up that cushion on the exit of turn number 2. 8 car of Reddick goes right up to the back bumper of the 24 once again. Now back down to the inside. 24 using the cushion. He's going to edge out that number 8 car at the stripe. Reddick still going in down on the bottom. Tyler Reddick once again takes away the race lead. We got a great battle for position farther back. Chase Elliott to the inside of Golobic. Elliott looks like he will be taking up the 3rd position. He does not have that much dirt racing experience in his career, but he's definitely driving like he's had years of experience. We got a car into the inside wall. It's the 15 of Chris Windham. Windham made heavy contact with the inside retaining wall, but we remain green. Look at this. Windham just kind of runs out of racing room. He's trying to make it 4 wide on the bottom. Hamlin's almost trying to go 5 wide on the exit of turn number 2. Makes contact with the 15, turning Windham into the inside wall with pretty significant left side damage. But he managed to keep that number 15 car going without bringing out a caution flag. Number 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has been very quickly cutting his way through the field. Right now resides within the top 10. Just got around the 26 car of Tyler Ankrum, and he has made his way into 8th position. Once again, we have a battle for the race lead on the exit of turn number 2. The 24 of Byron has closed the gap up to the 8 car of Reddick, trying to force Reddick to use up the cushion. At the stripe, it's the 8 car to hold the lead once again. Uses the cushion through turns 1 and 2. The 24 car of William Byron back out front. Golobic still resides in 3rd position. But still, we have a fantastic battle for the top spot right now. Currently, the final transfer position is being held by the 21 of Austin Cindric. Rico Abreu is just on the outside looking in 20th position. I tell you what, I am very impressed with Josh Bilicki so far. Still resides in 6th position, now actually battling Kurt Busch for a top 5. He's doing a great job so far, but once again, 8 car of Reddick has closed the gap up to the 24 of William Byron. Laps count down really quickly at this facility. We're almost halfway through heat number 1. Look at that. Reddick forces the number 24 car of Byron up the hill. Byron edges him at the start-finish line. 8 car of Reddick trying to find some momentum. Kurt Busch back to the inside of Josh Bilicki. Looks like Busch is going to take up the top 5 running position. Also on the inside, we have the 47 of Stenhouse getting around Sheldon Creed and Josh Bilicki in one move. 8 car of Reddick still trying to run down that 24. He's doing a great job at it. There was contact right there on the exit of turn 2 between the 47 of Stenhouse and 25 of Creed. Creed doing a great job right now trying to make his first points-paying race of his NASCAR Cup Series career. Reddick still within just 1 car length of the number 24 car of Byron. I'm impressed these two have yet to make contact with how hard they're running each other for the top spot. Here comes Reddick back down on the inside, but at the stripe, 24 car holds the momentum. We also still have Chase Elliott and Shane Golobic battling for the 3rd running position. Right now, it looks like the 8 car of Reddick is almost hoping for Byron to make a mistake, because Byron is able to hold really good momentum on the exit of turn number 4 right there. You can tell he can clear the 8 car of Reddick down to turn number 1 with how good of a run he's getting from the cushion. Back down on the inside, here comes Reddick once again. He's trying to roll that middle lane. He's doing a good job at it right now, but the 24 car of Byron's just good enough to pinch him down on the middle and not allowing Reddick to pull off a slide job and get up in front of him. Right now, the final transfer spot is being held by the number 4 car of Kevin Harvick, battling alongside the 69 of Rico Abreu. On the inside, looks like Abreu is going to take away the final transfer spot, but Harvick now challenging the 21 car of Cindric, as Cindric has just raced his way in. 2 SHR cars currently set on the outside looking in, and Suarez has also dropped back far enough to where he sets on the outside. 24 car of Byron still able to hold the race lead. 8 car of Reddick Once again, able to hold just the very inside of the 24 car. Golobic and Elliott still battle side by side for third position. Farther back, we have Creed in fifth, Josh Bilicki in sixth position, and Stenhouse in seventh. Race leader William Byron still trying to stay out in front of that 8 car of Reddick. Reddick is able to carry pretty good momentum on the entry of turn number 3, but just can't hold it on the exit. He needs to be able to get up side by side with the 24 car to try and set up a move into turn 1. But so far, every time he goes for the pass, 24 car can just clear him on the exit of 4. Right there, it's evident as these two run separate lanes. 24 car can just cut right in front of him on the entry to turn 1 using that momentum off the cushion of turn 4. And it looks like the 9 car of Chase Elliott has finally cleared the 78 of Golobic. But they're once again side by side. Reddick on the inside of the 24, trying to set up the pass. This time they're going side by side in 1 and 2. That's exactly how Reddick wanted to set him up. And Reddick back out front, the number 8 car for RCR. Byron takes a look back down to the inside, forces Reddick to use the cushion, which is what Byron has done for several consecutive laps. This time Reddick clears him down into turn number 1. Sliding on the exit of turn number 2. It's an incredible sight to see the Cup Series drivers have to handle a surface like this. Look at Byron force the 8 car wide. Back on the inside. Now they're side by side at the stripe. It was too close to call for who led. Scoring gives it to the 24 of William Byron. And that forced Reddick to use up just a little bit more of the cushion than he wanted to on the exit of turn 2. The gap is out to about 3 car lengths at the moment as Reddick has started to drop back just a little bit. Golobic has re-cleared the number 9 car of Chase Elliott. Look at the 61 of Bell. He was running outside of the transfer position just about 20 laps ago. Now runs in 7th position after getting around Josh Bilicki. 24 car of Byron still doing a good job staying out front. Farther back, we have the 84 of Norm Benning and 15 of Chris Windham. Looks like these two may be dropping a lap down very soon. And lap traffic, as we all know, plays a very crucial factor in dirt racing. And if the leaders get to the 15 and 84 cars in time, it may turn into an all-out battle for the heat number 1 victory. Final transfer spot is currently being held by the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek, racing with the 14 car of Clint Boyer, the 2019 Series champion, for that final position. Christopher Bell up on the outside, the number 71 of Josh Bilicki. These two battled side by side for numerous laps. It looks like Bell is going to finally clear the 71 car, using up the cushion. Right now, Byron has been able to put about a half a second gap on the 8 car of Reddick with now just 10 laps to go in heat number 1. The 25 and 9 cars of Creed and Elliott side by side for the 4th position. Looks like Creed might be able to take it into turn number 1 at the stripe. It was the 9 car still to hold it with the momentum off the top. But the 25 of Sheldon Creed has just taken up 4th. And there's the lap car of Chris Windham right up in front of race leader William Byron. Byron's going to have to start making some decisions right here to get around the lap traffic. Gets down to the inside. The 15 car looks like he may be able to easily clear Windham. Windham's just a little bit too far off the pace after getting into the inside wall to really put up that much of a fight. The 8 car of Reddick has started to drop back quite a bit. The separation's now 0.6 of a second. It looks like it might be too little too late. The driver of the number 8 car might have burned up his tires trying to get around that number 24 car. Now Byron puts the 69 of Abreu down a lap. As you can tell, there's quite a bit of damage on the 69 car. Must have made contact with both walls, but that did not bring out a caution flag. Tough luck for Abreu, though, who was trying to continue the recent success of Gaunt Brothers. Looks like he will not make the feature event. 78 car of Shane Golobic has caught up to the 8 of Reddick through all the lap traffic, and the lap cars have allowed the number 24 car of Byron to gap the 8 by 0.8 of a second. So it looks like if Byron can run a clean line for the next 3 laps, he will have the heat number 1 victory locked up. But remember, because of the full field inversion, if Byron wins this race, that means he will start all the way back in 37th position in the feature event. So he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. Now going to have a battle for second. Golobic to the inside, the 8 car of Reddick. Reddick going to use the cushion for momentum on the exit of turn 4. 8 car currently holds the spot. But down to turns 1 and 2, the 78 of Shane Golobic takes up the second position. 24 car of Byron onto the front stretch with just 1 lap to go in heat number 1. Golobic running in second. The final transfer position is currently being held by the 00 of Daniel Suarez, racing side by side with the 18. And now, coming out of turn number 4, William Byron will win heat number 1 at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track above Shane Golobic, who put on a great performance for Live Fast Motorsports. And the final transfer spot was taken by the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek. Clint Boyer did not make the race. And here's what made the number 69 car of Abreu very far off the pace. On lap number 15, he hops the cushion just a little bit and gets sandwiched between the wall and the 61 of Christopher Bell, getting both left and right side damage that ultimately knocked a whole lot of pace out of the 69 Rowdy Energy Toyota. Unfortunately, the 2019 Series champion Clint Boyer was just 1 spot away from making the Food City Dirt Race. But the number 18 car of John Hunter Nemechek made the race in 19th spot, which means because of the field inversion, he will be starting in the pole position for the Food City Dirt Race. And William Byron takes home the victory in heat number 1 here at Bristol above Shane Golobic in the number 78 car for Live Fast Motorsports. A great run there. Tyler Reddick faded down into 3rd position. Chase Elliott finished in 4th spot. Sheldon Creed in 5th. Josh Berlicki with a great 6th place finish. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 7th. The biggest mover would be the 61 car of Christopher Bell, who managed to pull off an 8th place finish. Tyler Ankrum finished in 9th position. And Stuart Friesen, who won the Pinty's truck race on dirt, qualifies the number 45 truck for 2311 Racing in 10th position. And here's the list of drivers who did not make the race, beginning with the 20th place finisher. Clint Boyer unfortunately missed out on making the field by just 1 spot. Then Michael McDowell missed the field. Brad Keselowski, who I'm sure is sick of these heat races at this point, as you recall, he did not make the Quaker State 400 at Louisville either. But at least the way he missed this race here at Bristol wasn't quite so dramatic. Then Austin Cindric did not make the field. Corey LaJoie missed it. Custer, Alfredo, Harrison Burton, Chris Windham, Rico Abreu, and Norm Benning all failed to make the Food City Dirt Race here at Bristol. And so now, after just a quick commercial break, we'll be back right here at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track for the beginning of heat number 2. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by RFJ, the official home of the RFJ AI series. By Knife Friend 725, the brains behind Project Retroval. And by Anthony's Online Simulation League. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track. Here is your starting lineup for heat number 2. Obviously the format is exactly the same. Heat number 2 will set the starting lineup of the outside lane for the feature event. The field will be inverted following this heat, and the starting lineup for this heat was determined by the drivers who set in even-numbered positions in points, so 2nd, 4th, 6th, so on and so forth, and the starting lineup was randomized. So, with the randomization, Chris Buescher will be starting in what would be the pole spot for this heat above Ryan Blaney in the 12 car for Team Penske, then the 50 of Kaz Gralla, last week's winner Kyle Larson, and an exceptional dirt racer at that. Another driver who comes from a dirt racing background is Justin Allgaier, although he has not been able to do any dirt racing anytime recently. Bobby Pierce, who won a pole in a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race at Eldora a couple years ago and finished runner-up. He will start the number 51 for Rick Ware Racing in 6th position. Ben Rhodes, attempting to make his first NASCAR Cup Series start, will start from the 7th position in the NY Racing number 44. Jan Magnussen will start from 8th position. Eric Almirola in 9th spot, and Matt DiBenedetto rounding out your top 10. There's quite a few dirt racing ringers in this event, including the number 32 of Ken Schrader. Schrader trying to make what would be his definitive final, I should add, NASCAR Cup Series race. Schrader will be hanging up his helmet following the Food City Dirt Race should he make it, but he is leaving open the opportunity, just in case he DNQs for the race, for him to come back next season. We also have Mike Marlar in the 66, Michael Self in the 5, and Haley Deegan in the 36, just to name a few. And not to mention Ryan Blaney's father, Dave Blaney, trying to make the race in the number 02 car for Team Penske. And so now let's get down trackside for the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
But just like what we talked about in the transporter, at the end of pit road, the last pit box is a timing line. So the last white line on pit exit is the line. Big thumbs up, my friend. Have a good time.
Pace cars in, 17-car Buescher leading the field onto the front straightaway, and there is the green flag for heat number 2 at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track. Down to turn number 1, the 17-car of Buescher gets the advantage. 12-car Blaney runs wide just a little bit, drops back, and the 57 of Larson into second position. Now forces his way to the inside, the 17 of Buescher. Down to the stripe, it is the 17 holding the momentum off of the cushion, and in turn number 1, this 57 car of Larson takes away the top spot. Very wide battle farther back as the number 33 car of Magnussen drops back. 23 of Bubba Wallace on the inside, the 33 and 6 cars of Magnussen and Newman. Up front, the 17 car of Chris Buescher still dropping back. The 50 of Kaz Gralla, who has very limited dirt racing experience, into second. 10 of Almirola into the inside wall. Slides back up into traffic. Almost a 5-wide battle there. Schrader forces the 33 car of Magnussen wide, but we remain green. Dave Blaney on the inside, the 02 car, trying to force his way underneath Ken Schrader. A 4-wide battle farther towards the front, as the 44 of Ben Rhodes has just taken up the second position for NY Racing. Number 3 of Austin Dillon on the inside of his teammate, trying to make his way up into third position, matching his car number. 6 car of Ryan Newman currently resides in 7th position. Both Roush Fenway cars in the top 10. That has not been a sight very common this season. 19 of Martin Truex Jr., who was 1 spot away from winning the Kyle Busch Bounty in the Pinty's truck race on dirt, has just raced his way up into 8th spot. And how about this? Ken Schrader, who started this race in 29th position, he has raced his way up into the top 10. Into the wall goes Newman and Austin Dillon. Yellow flag is out. The yellow flag waves, and racing back to the start-finish line, it is the 57 of Kyle Larson out front, above the 44 of Ben Rhodes, 50 of Kaz Gralla, 12 of Ryan Blaney, and 17 of Chris Buescher. So Buescher's raced his way back up into the top 5. Ken Schrader actually raced his way all the way up into 8th position. Right up in front of him is the 02 car of Dave Blaney. So early, the dirt racing ringers are getting the job done. So here's what happened while racing for third spot with his teammate Kaz Gralla. Austin Dillon gets put 3 wide by the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. Blaney makes contact with the 3, turning him down to the inside wall on the backstretch. Then trying to catch the car, Dillon slides up the racetrack entering turn number 3 and gets hit from the rear by the 6 car of Newman. Those two both carrying each other up into the outside wall, bringing out our first caution flag. And Bubba Wallace just barely got by on the inside. I was not expecting this, but the number 51 car of Bobby Pierce has actually dropped all the way down to 29th position after hopping the cushion early in tonight's race. 6 car of Newman is on to pit road, but believe it or not, the number 3 of Austin Dillon has opted to stay out. And I believe I know why the 3 car of Dillon stayed out, so we only have 40 laps to go already. The laps here wind down very quickly. Austin Dillon currently resides in 19th position. So if he's lucky enough and can stay in that spot, he will transfer into the feature and, believe it or not, start in 2nd position. But it's kind of likely that they may have to switch to a backup car if they get this number 3 car into the show. Michael Self, a veteran of the ARCA Menard Series and this season running his first year in the Camping World Truck Series, trying to make his first cup race in the number 5 for Levine Family Racing, but he currently sits outside the top 19 in 24th position. Another dirt racing ringer who sets outside of the transfer spot is Haley Deegan, teammate to race leader Kyle Larson. They got the 6 car Ryan Newman back on the racetrack. He is, in fact, still on the lead lap. Currently resides in last position, which is 30th, without a hood or front bumper cover. But like I've mentioned numerous times, aerodynamics does not matter that much here, so it's entirely possible that Newman could still make the feature if he gets lucky enough. You know, Ben Rhodes actually had a very good run last night in the Pinty's truck race on dirt, trying to continue that success here tonight in the number 44 for NY Racing. Currently resides in 2nd, has a legitimate shot at taking home the heat number 2 victory. But if you win heat 2, you're going to start the feature in 38th position, so maybe it wouldn't quite be worth it. Anyway, pace car on the pit road. Larson leads the field into the restart zone. There's the green flag on lap number 12. On the inside, here comes the 50 of Kaz Gralla, forcing Larson up the racetrack as well. Larson managed to clear the 44 of Rhodes using momentum off the high line. Contact between the 12 and 50 of Blaney and Kaz Gralla. 50 car had to catch it as the 17 gets up into the outside wall. Must have hopped the cushion right there on the exit of turn 4. Dave Blaney running wide with his son as well. 32 of Kenny Schrader on the inside. The 12 car of Ryan Blaney looks like he's going to take up the 5th position. How about this? Martin Truex Jr. in the 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Makes contact with the 44 on the exit of turn number 2. Almost turned around Ben Rhodes on the back stretch. That takes a little bit of the pressure off the 57 car of Larson. Larson currently holds a 0.3 of a second gap above the 44 car. Schrader on the inside of the 50 of Kaz Gralla. Looks like Schrader's going to take up the 4th position. Down on the inside, he has Ryan Blaney trying to pressure that number 32 car. Blaney trying to go 3 wide underneath both Schrader and Martin Truex Jr. Looks like he can't quite do it. Schrader using up a little bit of the cushion on the entry to turn number 3, trying to use that momentum to get around the 12 car. He inches ahead of him right at the start-finish line. But through turns 1 and 2, Blaney's going to hold serve down there on the middle lane. And Ryan Blaney will take up the 4th position. Oh, contact farther back. The number 99 turns the number 42 into the wall and back in front of the field. 48 car of Alex Bowman gets turned around. Yellow flag is waving. Racing back to the start-finish line, it is the 57 of Kyle Larson, still your race leader, above the 44 of Ben Rhodes, then the 19 of Martin Truex Jr., 12 of Ryan Blaney, and 32 of Ken Schrader. So the number 99 of Ryan Preece and 42 of Justin Allgaier, these two were racing for 18th position, just barely ahead of the final transfer spot. 99 clips the number 42 of Allgaier, turning the 42 down into the inside wall. Allgaier catches it just for a moment. He's going to have to slide up the racetrack to try and use more of the track to get that 42 car under control, but slides up into the 48 of Bowman, who then gets clipped by the 33 of Magnussen. Heavy front-end damage on the 33, and that turns the 48 car of Bowman around on the entry to turn 3. Fortunately, not very much contact was made between the 27 of Gase and the 48 of Bowman, and also a little bit of right-side damage on the 51 of Bobby Pierce. Also, the number 43 car at this time held the 19th position, with the 42 car dropping back and the rest of the cars wrecking up in front of him. That has allowed the 43 car to race his way up into 18th position. You see the 3 car down on the inside. Back to the start-finish line, even knowing that he did not hold the 19th position. That just proves what staying in the race will allow you to do, because now Austin Dillon sets only 1 position out of a transfer spot. And actually, how about Ryan Newman? In the number 6 car for Roush Fenway Racing, he currently resides in 22nd position, still with a legitimate shot at making the field, because he only has to pass about 3 cars to do it. And just look at how badly torn up a lot of these race cars are. And we've only ran 22 laps of a heat race. I can't tell you what these cars are going to look like after the 150-lap feature. 33 car of Jan Magnussen is on to pit road this time by. Lights are off on the pace car this time by, as we are now halfway through heat number 2. Exactly 25 laps to go once we get back to the start-finish line. Pace car ducks onto pit road. Kyle Larson leads the field into the restart zone on the front straightaway. And there's the green flag on lap number 25. 44 car of Ben Rhodes trying to challenge the 57 car of Larson. Schrader using up the cushion on the exit of turn number 2. Yaley made contact with Dave Blaney right there. Incredible racing throughout the field as the 44 car of Ben Rhodes down on the inside trying to run down the 57. The 50 of Kaz Gralla tagged the outside wall right there on the exit of turn number 4. 12 car of Ryan Blaney has taken up the 3rd position off the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. It's been a good night for both Blaneys so far. It looks like Dave has been put up into the cushion. He's going to lose a couple spots right up on the top. 19 car Truex back to the inside of the 12. And it looks like Truex will take up the 3rd position once again. Ben Rhodes still trying to run down the number 57 car of Larson. The final transfer position at the moment is being held by the 43 of Myatt Snyder. Just behind him is the 66 of Mike Marlar trying to make the race for MBM. How about Michael Self on the inside, the 5 car for Levine Family Racing? He's raced his way all the way up to 7th. An incredible run going so far for Self, trying to make his first NASCAR Cup Series start. J.J. Yaley racing with Joey Logano. This is the kind of equality that you see in dirt racing. It's not so much about your car, but it's about the driver's ability. Down on the inside, Martin Truex Jr. goes side by side with Ben Rhodes. Believe it or not, this is only Truex's second career dirt race. Last night was his first. Penske teammates battling for the fourth position. We got Logano on the inside of Ryan Blaney. Farther back, the 02 car of Dave Blaney has dropped down to 13th position. Final transfer spot is currently being held by Larson's teammate Hailie Deegan in the number 36 Craftsman Mustang. You know, Truex and Larson battled last night in the Pinty's truck race on dirt for the Kyle Busch bounty money. Now battling side by side through turns 3 and 4 for heat number 2. Larson clears the 19 car of Truex on the front stretch using momentum off the outside. Ken Schrader has raced his way back up into 6th position for Go Fast Racing. Looks like if he can keep his car clean, he will certainly make the feature event. J.J. Yaley also having a good run, still going in the number 52 for Rick Ware Racing. Currently resides in 7th. Here comes the 19 of Truex back to the inside of the 57. Side by side, entering turn number 3, Truex tries to force Larson to use up the cushion, and he does it. Martin Truex Jr. out front in heat number 2. Still trying to force Larson wide, and he has finally cleared the 57, and we have a new race leader. But here comes Larson back to the inside. Once again, side by side for the top spot. Larson going to try and do it. We have a 3-car battle for 3rd position. Ben Rhodes still trying to hold it from the 22 car of Logano. And on the inside, we have Kyle Larson taking the lead once again off the 19 car of Martin Truex Jr. Joey Logano in the 22 car for Team Penske currently resides in 3rd position. Yellow flag is out. Caution flag waves once again. Larson is your leader back to the start-finish line above the number 19 of Martin Truex Jr., 22 of Joey Logano, 44 of Ben Rhodes, and 12 of Ryan Blaney. So the reason that we are under the yellow flag is because of fluid put down by the number 33 car of Jan Magnussen. As you know, he's had damage. He's been on pit road numerous times in the last few laps. Must have finally blew something on the 33 car. Well, they actually got the 33 car of Magnussen refired, so it's potentially possible that it might have just been overheating, and NASCAR threw the caution due to fluid coming out of the overflow. That, I guess, would explain why they cut the front bumper cover and hood off the 33 car of Magnussen to potentially get more airflow. How about this? The final transfer position is currently being held by Drew Herring, and the 51 of Bobby Pierce has actually raced his way back into a transfer spot, currently resides in 17th position. Hailie Deegan, Mike Marlar, and Dave Blaney are all well within transfer spots, as well as other dirt racing ringers, including Schrader, Yaley, and Michael Self. And pace car hits pit road, this time by Larson, leading the field back into the restart zone with just 6 laps to go in heat number 2. There's the green flag. 19 car of Truex did not get a very good restart. Dave Blaney was turned into the inside wall by, I believe, the 2 car of Matt Benedetto, their teammates. Fortunately, though, Blaney still in the race and still in a transfer position. Larson runs wide. 3-wide battle for the top spot between Larson, Truex, and Logano. Now back down to 2 wide for 2nd position. Logano is going to take up the spot off the 19 car of Truex as Truex runs wide on the exit of turn number 2. Blaney up in to 3rd position with contact between the 19 and 12. How about J.J. Yaley on the bottom? He's raced his way into 5th position in the 52 car. It's now a battle between Kyle Larson and Joey Logano for heat number 2. A little bit of contact right there on the exit of turn number 2 between Blaney and Preece. Dave Blaney, that is. And right now, Larson has put about a 3-car length separation on the 22 car of Joey Logano and has dominated heat number 2 so far. 19 of Truex actually made contact with the 32 of Ken Schrader. As the yellow flag is back out, this caution will end the race. 57 of Larson has done it, if he can run the next 2 laps under caution without any trouble. And your final transfer position is currently being held by the 36 of Hailie Deegan, with 20th position being Bubba Wallace. It looks like Wallace will not make the feature event. And so this really was the battle for the final transfer spot, as Deegan is going for the 19th position. She has the 40 of Quinn Half on her inside, as well as the 50 of Gralla and 96 of Herring. Field just really trying to fan out to get that final transfer spot. The 50 makes contact with the 40, turning the 40 car of Half around on the back straightaway. Got finished off by the 96 of Drew Herring into the inside wall, bringing out the final caution. And here's how close it was on the exit of turn number 4. Deegan, using up some of the cushion, gets the momentum on the exit of turn number 4 and edges out the 23 car of Wallace at the start-finish line for the final transfer spot. And so now the white flag is waving for Kyle Larson under yellow flag conditions. Looks like Larson will win heat number 2 if he can make it just a half a lap from here. And off of turn number 4, albeit under caution, Kyle Larson picks up right where he left off at Charlotte Motor Speedway, taking home the heat number 2 victory at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track. I'll tell you what, though, if we would have got those final few laps, I think Joey Logano might have been able to take it off him, because Logano was absolutely running down that number 57 car. Kyle Larson wins heat number 2 at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track in rather dominant fashion, but what that does mean is that he will be starting in 38th position for the feature because of the field inversion. So in a way, winning this heat does not help him as much as you would think. It obviously gives him a monetary bonus because he's the heat number 2 winner, but he's definitely got his work cut out for him, having to get around 37 cars to take home the victory in the Food City Dirt Race. Behind Larson is the 22 car of Logano, who put up a great effort there in the final few laps. Ryan Blaney finished in 3rd position, J.J. Yaley with a great run in 4th, Martin Truex Jr. 5th. Kenny Schrader has officially made what will be his final career NASCAR Cup Series start in the 32 for Go Fast Racing in 6th position. Ben Rhodes is qualified for what will be his first NASCAR Cup Series start, finishing in 7th in heat number 2. Chris Buescher finished in 8th position, Matt DiBenedetto in 9th, and Ross Chastain rounding out your top 10. Michael Self finished in 11th position, and Dave Blaney as well in 12th spot. Farther back, a few more dirt ringers who made it in. Bobby Pierce got 16th position, Mike Marlar in 17th, and Haley Deegan being your final transfer driver, which means that Deegan will actually start her first NASCAR Cup Series race outside pole because of the field inversion. The drivers who did not make the Food City Dirt Race here at the Bristol Motor Speedway following heat number 2 are Bubba Wallace, who just barely missed out of making the top 19. They're in that final green lap battle back to the caution flag with Haley Deegan. Kaz Gralla did not make it. Joey Gase failed to make it. Herring, Newman, Allgaier, Castle, Austin Dillon, Quinn Half, Eric Almirola, and finally Jan Magnussen. And so now, after just a quick commercial break, we will be back right here at Bristol Motor Speedway, gearing up for the Food City Dirt Race, the big show and feature event. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by RFJ, the official home of the RFJ AI series, by Knife Friend 725, the brains behind Project Retroval, and by Anthony's Online Simulation League. Welcome back to the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track. Here is your starting lineup for the Food City Dirt Race, the feature event of tonight's races. John Hunter Nemechek, after the full field inversion, will be starting in the pole spot above the number 36 of Haley Deegan. Obviously, the inside row was set from heat number 1 and outside row from heat number 2. Daniel Suarez in 3rd position, Eric Jones in 4th, Justin Haley in 5th position, Mike Marlar 6th, Brandon Jones in 7th, Bobby Pierce in 8th, Kevin Harvick in 9th, and Ryan Preece rounding out your top 10. Heat 1 and Heat 2 winners, William Byron and Kyle Larson, have their work cut out for them over the course of the 150 laps to be contested here tonight, as Byron will be starting in 37th position and Larson all the way back in 38th. And so now, let's get down trackside for the command.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Get a rhythm. Get ready to rock and roll today. It's a long race. There will be a lot of pit stops. So just go out there, do what you got to do. No mistakes. That's the big thing today. Just no mistakes.
Pace car hits pit road. John Hunter Nemechek leads the field onto the front straightaway. And there's the green flag for the first dirt race of the Cup level in 51 years here at Bristol. Justin Haley all the way down on the inside, forces his way underneath Nemechek. 26 car of Ankrum already down pit road. Must be a possible mechanical trouble on the 26 car. Could not be overheating already. Didn't even make a single turn, so it's not like the radiator could have been clogged at this point. 18 and 77 cars battling side by side. Nemechek led at the start-finish line, but Haley takes away the race lead on the exit of turn 2. Already the field fanning out 4 wide. I believe there might have been contact farther back. Oh, and there goes the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. getting turned around by the 45 of Stuart Friesen. Caution flag is out as Ryan Blaney piles into the mess. In the race back to the flag, it was Justin Haley, your race leader, above Brandon Jones in the 20, then his teammate John Hunter Nemechek in the 18 car, 53 of Chase Briscoe, and the 4 of Kevin Harvick in 5th position. You could also tell that the number 26 of Tyler Ankrum has already dropped 1 lap down. So here's where the madness began. The field fanning out in almost 6 wide right here on the exit of turn 2. 52 car of J.J. Yaley makes contact with the 2 of Matt DiBenedetto, turning him down into the inside wall, left front tire first. Then the caution comes out ahead of them with the 45 of Stuart Friesen, last night's winner, barreling down to turn number 3, gets into the back bumper, the 47 of Stenhouse, turns him around through turns 3 and 4, right up in front of Ben Rhodes, who got a little bit of damage out of this. Larson sneaks by down on the inside. Schrader manages to get slowed up in time. 12 car of Blaney almost can't see him through the dust, makes a little bit of contact with the rear end of the 47. So both Blaney and Stenhouse are still in the race, but there was enough damage on the number 2 car of Matt DiBenedetto that he is currently on pit road. They actually got the number 26 car of Tyler Ankrum back out on the racetrack, albeit 1 lap down. Reported that he was down on power. They went down pit road, and there was 1 disconnected plug wire on the number 26 car of Ankrum. So that is what brought them down pit road on lap number 1. They actually got the 2 car Matt DiBenedetto back out onto the racetrack after all that left front damage he got, likely to have suspension damage that will plague him over the course of the night, because he slapped the inside wall pretty hard with his left front tire, so the car most likely will not steer properly for the rest of the night. But fortunately, in a dirt race, you're normally picking up that left front tire, so maybe that was the correct side of the car to hit, because you really steer the car with the right rear anyway, so maybe that may keep DiBenedetto in contention to get back on the lead lap. How about this, by the way? Kyle Larson, after winning heat number 2, he actually started all the way down in 38th position. He's actually already driven his way into 24th spot. So I'd say Larson's probably the favorite here at Bristol. He could potentially go 2 in a row, because he won last week in the 600. Pace car hits pit road, this time by Justin Haley, leads the field onto the front straightaway and into the restart zone. There's the green flag on lap number 7. Pretty good jump for the number 20 of Brandon Jones, already trying to get to the inside. Alex Bowman uses up the cushion farther back. Contact between Harvick and Deegan. Harvick into the wall. We still remain green with now a 3 wide battle for the top spot. John Hunter Nemechek on the inside of the 20 and 77 cars. Nemechek back out front. Almost 6 wide farther back. They managed to keep it together, but Michael Self was really forcing the issue down on the bottom. The yellow flag is back out. Caution flag waves with John Hunter Nemechek, your race leader. Behind Nemechek is the 20 of Brandon Jones, so Joe Gibbs Racing 1-2. Then the 53 of Chase Briscoe in 3rd, 77 of Haley resides in 4th position, and 36 of Deegan after getting into Harvick currently sets in 5th position. So first of all, both the 61 and 12 cars of Bell and Blaney came down pit road due to overheating trouble. As you can tell, Deegan manages to get to the inside. The 4 car of Harvick forces Harvick up the racetrack just a little bit, makes a little bit of contact with the 4 car right on the exit of turn number 2 as Deegan slides up into the 4, using up as much of the racetrack as possible. Harvick gets turned down into the inside wall with a pretty significant slap to the left side of the car. Also got up into the 31 car of Ty Dillon. Then while Harvick was trying to get down pit road because of his damage, the 55 car of Ross Chastain forced his way onto the inside to try and get around Harvick, and actually made Harvick miss his entry to pit road, and he actually slammed the attenuator wall. The same wall that Ryan Unticker was turned into by Kyle Busch. However, obviously this will not lead to any kind of suspension of any sort for any of the drivers involved. Harvick accidentally got into the wall while trying to commit to pit lane, and he was way too far ahead of the pit lane, and at such a high rate of speed that there was really no way he was going to make the entry, especially with left front suspension damage that he got from hitting the wall. So really the car wouldn't turn correctly anyway. He was forced wide by the 55 and pounded that attenuator wall. Kevin Harvick, the point leader coming into the race, is now out of it on lap number 9. Here's just another look at it. The 55 car Chastain forces his way to the inside, and there is the commitment cone. So Harvick is already well beyond when you're supposed to be committed to pit lane, still trying to make the late entry to try and get some of that damage repaired. Instead, he plows the water barrels because he cannot turn in time. So an unfortunate end to Kevin Harvick's night. The door is now wide open for several contenders in the point standings to try and make a challenge to Kevin Harvick's lead in the standings. In particular, Joey Logano, who because of the inverted lineup of the field currently resides in 33rd position. He's got a good enough car to carve his way through the field after finishing second in heat number 2. Currently resides second in points. If he can finish in the top 20, he will likely take the point lead off of the 4 car of Harvick, because he only has to make up 19 points to surpass the 4 in the standings, and Harvick will be credited with a 38th place finish. Pace car on pit road, this time by Nemechek, leads the field off of turn 4 into the restart zone on lap number 14, and there is the green flag. Nemechek gets a very big jump above his teammate Brandon Jones down to turn number 1. 43 car Snyder farther back, using up as much of the cushion as he possibly can, with now a battle for second position. 3 wide on the inside goes Deegan, trying to get around both the 53 and 20. Caution flag is back out. Looks like the 31 of Ty Dillon got up into the outside wall. John Hunter Nemechek is your race leader above the 53 of Briscoe, 36 of Haley Deegan, 20 of Brandon Jones, and 51 of Bobby Pierce. As you can tell, the intensity has ramped up since the heat races. We have not gotten very many laps under green so far, as these drivers, because of the field inversion, are trying to make up as much track position as physically possible quickly in this race, because this is not a very long event. It's only 150 laps around Bristol. So if you're someone like, say, Larson, Byron, who has to start in the back, these cars up in front of you are most likely slower than you, so it's really forcing these drivers to have to get through the field as fast as possible, which is what has led to quite a few incidents early on. This is very similar to the Friesen-Stenhouse incident. Entering turn number 3, Michael Self barrels into the corner, makes contact with the 31 of Ty Dillon, sending Dillon around right up in front of the 99 of Preece, who can't slow down in time. Preece hits the 31 car right in the driver's side door, but they all managed to continue, but still quite a bit of damage on the front end of the 99 of Preece and on the left side of the 31. You know, dirt racing is kind of the opposite of road course racing, because in a dirt car, it is all about full contact, hammer down action. At a road course, it's a little bit more finesse, a little bit more calculated, how you're going to go about passing someone. But at a dirt track like this, pretty much the entire racing surface is usable to make a move in some way or another, whether it be momentum off the top, if you can find some moisture up there, if you can roll the bottom a little bit better, you can slide up in front of someone. And that's why every car at this point is pretty much damaged. Even though we've only had about 20 laps and 5 under green? It's because this racetrack gives you so many opportunities to make moves, you can just stuff it in there and go for a 6-wide pass if you want. Your car might not look too good on the other side, but you might be able to pass 5 cars in that same move. And so we are already halfway through stage number 1. Lights are off on the pace car this time by John Hunter Nemechek, still out front. He's got an experienced dirt racer of Chase Briscoe in line behind him for the restart. There's the pace car hitting pit road. Nemechek leads the field into the restart zone. And there's the green flag on lap 21. Once again, Nemechek gets the jump down to turn number 1. Look at Hamlin use up the cushion. 3-wide battle for second on the exit of turn number 2. It's Brandon Jones. 3 wide on the bottom. Jones, with limited dirt racing experience, takes up the second position. Briscoe up into the outside wall. Haley Deegan still running up on the outside line, battling for second. It looks like it will be Jones to take up the spot. Larson starting to carve his way through the field, as well as Shane Golobic. Down on the inside, Justin Haley is going to take up third once again in the 77. Now Deegan up into the outside wall as well. Contact between Suarez and the 37 of Eric Jones. Very close moment right there on the exit of turn number 4. We got contact farther back. Bulicki carries the 9 car of Elliott up into the outside wall. Still riding the outside retaining wall, but we remain green. In the battle out front, the 51 of Bobby Pierce has raced his way up into 4th position. He came so close to winning at Eldora just a few years ago in the Camping World Truck Series, but the loss that he suffered there would certainly be made up for if he could take the win the Cup Series race here tonight. Bobby Pierce forces the 77 car of Haley to use up some of the cushion right there on the exit of turn number 4. Haley once again clears him. Caution flag is back out. Sheldon Creed has gotten in trouble entering turn number 1. In the race back to the flag, it is John Hunter Nemechek still with a comfortable lead above the field. Brandon Jones running in second. A close battle for third with the 77 of Justin Haley holding it at the stripe. 51 car of Bobby Pierce in fourth position and 37 of Eric Jones in fifth. So first of all, here's what happened to the 9 and 71 cars. Bilicki pushes a little bit on the exit of turn 4, carries the 9 car of Elliott up into the outside wall, and these two get hooked up. Elliott refuses to lift. These two just carry each other up against the outside wall for almost a quarter of a mile. Here's what happened to Sheldon Creed on the exit of turn number 4. The 11 car of Hamlin tries to fill a gap that is not really there, makes contact with the 25, sends him down into the 19 of Truex. Creed gets put down to the inside wall. 5 car Michael Self gets carried up into the outside. Heat number 1 winner, William Byron, involved in this mess. Damage on the number 24 car. That causes a large stack up as the field tries to avoid the 25. Not too much damage on the 25 car of Sheldon Creed. Brings the car onto pit road this time by, but they should likely at least be able to finish the race. Pace car hits pit road. Nemechek leads the field onto the front straightaway into the restart zone. And there's the green flag with just 9 laps to go in stage number 1. This time the 20 car Brandon Jones puts the pressure on him into turn 1. Jones on the inside of his teammate, battling side by side for the top spot, entering turn number 3. Nemechek goes wide and uses up some of the cushion. He's trying to use the momentum, and at the stripe, it works out for him. Nemechek leads the lap, but entering turn number 1, the 20 car takes away the top spot with the caution flag back out. Quite a few cautions early on this race. 18 car puts the bumper to the 20. Brandon Jones uses momentum off the outside line to lead the field back to the caution flag as the race leader. Brandon Jones is your leader above John Hunter Nemechek. J.J. Yaley actually raced his way into third for Rick Ware Racing. Then Eric Jones and Bobby Pierce. Wow, 2 Rick Ware cars in the top 5. Guess what? It was the 25 of Sheldon Creed once again, this time getting hooked around by the 48 of Alex Bowman and hard into the inside wall. Not a very good debut race going for Sheldon Creed. Here's another angle of the impact. The 25 car suffered into the wall. Pretty significant damage on the 25. Maybe terminal, but if they're lucky, they can get the car back onto the racetrack. I tell you what, when SMI and NASCAR first announced this race, came under a lot of criticism from both asphalt and concrete racing fans and dirt racing fans. In particular, a lot of dirt fans, myself included, when it was first announced, were wondering, why aren't we running this race at Eldora or a real dirt track? But I'll tell you what, the job that SMI has done with this racetrack to get it dirt racing ready has been absolutely phenomenal. We have a full crowd here at Bristol. Name any other dirt track that you could pack 162,000 fans into to watch really America's finest race car drivers go after it for 150 laps. Not to mention, folks, that playoffs are on the line here. This is not an exhibition event. Whoever wins this race here tonight will be given an automatic advancement into the playoffs if they can be in the top 30 in the point standings. Pace car hits pit road once again. This time Brandon Jones leads the field into the restart zone. And there's the green flag. He definitely gets the jump on his teammate Nemechek down to turn number 1. Here comes Yaley on the inside, forcing a 3-wide move underneath the race leader. Contact gets made farther back. 43 car has to catch it entering turn number 3. J.J. Yaley takes away the race lead with just 1 lap to go in stage number 1. 20 car got up into the outside wall, and Yaley trying to pull it off with now the 18 car to his inside. Through 3 and 4, the 52 battles side by side with the 18. Using momentum off the top, J.J. Yaley wins stage number 1. An incredible performance for the driver, the number 52 for Rick Ware Racing. J.J. Yaley scores his first career NASCAR Cup Series stage win at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track above the 18 car of John Hunter Nemechek, 37 of Eric Jones, 51 of Bobby Pierce, and 20 of Brandon Jones. Look at this fantastic move by J.J. Yaley on the restart. Dives down to the inside of both the 18 and 20 cars. The Gibbs cars have dominated the race so far. Yaley forces them 3 wide, and Yaley using a very low lane to get around both the 20 and 18. Then Brandon Jones pounds the wall on the exit of turn number 4 and allows Yaley to clear both the 18 and 20 cars. Farther back, we had the 43 car of Snyder turned almost into the inside wall by the 02 of Dave Blaney, but then when he turns into the corner, he ricochets off the inside wall, gets up into the 02 of Blaney, then the 00 clips the 02 up into the 11. And the 11, 02, and 00 cars follow each other up into the outside wall, but believe it or not, no caution. And now, after just a quick commercial break, we will be back right here at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track for the start of stage number 2. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by RFJ, the official home of the RFJ AI series. By Knife Friend 725, the brains behind Project Retroval. And by Anthony's Online Simulation League. You know, J.J. Yaley's Stage 1 victory really does prove what I was mentioning earlier about dirt racing being an equalizer. Because the difficulties of the surface and the unique tendencies of dirt track racing has eliminated the advantage that a team such as Joe Gibbs Racing has above Rick Ware. J.J. Yaley drove his way around 2 Joe Gibbs cars in the last few laps of Stage 1 to take home the stage victory. It's really all about the driver here at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track, more than it will ever be about equipment. Here's an update on Ken Schrader and what will be his final career NASCAR Cup Series start. He currently resides in 16th position for Go Fast Racing. Also, how about Kyle Larson? He's still on the march towards the front of the field, currently resides in 14th position in his very own number 57 car. Here comes the pace car onto pit road. J.J. Yaley leads the field in the restart zone for the start of stage number 2. There's the green flag. 18 car of John Hunter Nemechek got a very good restart on the 52. Gets down to the inside, as well as the 37. Gets hit by the 51 of Bobby Pierce. Jones with pretty significant left side damage. He keeps it going, and we remain green. Yaley racing with the 18 car of Nemechek. Clears him entering turn number 1. Absolutely has been a race of attrition so far. 18 and 52 cars still battling side by side. Yaley really showing off his dirt racing experience here in the Food City Dirt Race. Kurt Busch actually racing his way almost in the 3rd position, now to the inside of Bobby Pierce. Still the 18 and 52 cars run side by side. No one budging as of yet. 52 using up some of the cushion. That's going to give him momentum at the stripe. Yaley once again clears the 18 car down to turn 1. Kurt Busch has taken up the 3rd position off the 51 of Bobby Pierce. Yaley still holds the top spot above the 18 car of John Hunter Nemechek. Whoa, contact between the 22 of Logano. Almost gets turned around. Logano got hit on the exit of turn number 4 by the 57 of Larson. Bobby Pierce back on the inside of the 1 car of Kurt Busch. Lap car right up in front of the 52 of Yaley. Forces Yaley to run a lower line. Contact between the 18 and 52. J.J. Yaley clears the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek on the exit. Still running side by side, though, as the 18 car pulled off a great run down the back straightaway. Yaley once again has to use up some of the cushion. At the stripe this time by, it's still Yaley to lead the lap. Entering turn number 1, though, the 18 car side by side with him still. And now the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek has taken away the top spot once again. Bobby Pierce now resides in 3rd position. Speaking of Pierce, he currently holds the fastest lap of the race, and because we did not run single car qualifying, that means that Pierce, if no one can knock his lap time off, will be eligible for the Busch Clash at the Daytona Road Course next season. Here comes the 52 of Yaley back to the inside, the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek. Still side by side as Yaley forcing Nemechek up the racetrack. Through 3 and 4, they're almost exactly side by side. Yaley trying to pull off a slide job. It's not quite going to work as the 18 beats him back to the start-finish line. These two running side by side is also bringing Bobby Pierce back up into the mix. And through turns 1 and 2, J.J. Yaley has taken up the top spot once again. And watch out for the 57 of Kyle Larson. Larson has raced his way all the way up into 7th position, and I guarantee you he's not going to stop there. The 18 car of John Hunter Nemechek has started to drop back. Now through lap traffic, there's the 02 of Dave Blaney, who unfortunately is missing his front and rear bumper covers after those had to be removed due to crash damage. Also, the number 52 of Yaley laps the 2 of Matt DiBenedetto. As I mentioned much earlier in the broadcast, lap traffic is a very crucial factor in dirt racing, and right now the Rick Ware cars are doing the best job of anyone as Bobby Pierce has started to run down the 18. And it looks like down on the inside, Pierce is going to take up second. That means we have a Rick Ware 1-2. Rick Ware Racing fielding different manufacturers for the top two runners. Yaley in a used Ford and the 51 of Bobby Pierce in a more recent Chevrolet. But the funding is not holding either of these two back. Oh, we got a problem on the 32 car of Schrader. Looks like the engine is blowing up. Caution flag is out once again. Yellow flag comes out with J.J. Yaley as your race leader. 18 car of John Hunter Nemechek actually raced his way back up into second position, getting around the 51 of Bobby Pierce. 19 of Truex resides in fourth position, and the 20 of Brandon Jones in fifth. Take a look at this. Schrader was racing very hard for a top 10 position. 02 car of Dave Blaney up on the outside. Heat number 2 winner of Larson in the middle. Larson makes contact with the 02 car, carrying it down to the 32 of Schrader. Then Schrader gets forced into the inside wall with a hard impact that blows the engine on the 32 car. An unfortunate end to what may be Ken Schrader's final start in the NASCAR Cup Series, and also heavy damage on the 57 of Larson. Take a look at this. The 51 car's fastest lap is now fourth best over the course of the run. Now the 26 of Ankrum has taken up the spot as the fastest lap holder. The 36 of Hailie Deegan set the second fastest lap, and the 22 of Joey Logano set the third fastest lap just in that run alone. Unfortunately, Ken Schrader is now out of the race. He will bring the 32 car home in 36th position, but I believe the real takeaway from this race for him is that he had top 10 pace. I mean, that car, had they not been involved in an accident that wasn't even their own making, I bet they would have been able to finish in the top 10. Let's just hope that Schrader may change his mind and show up again next season, because he had the pace to get the job done here tonight. Just unfortunately was taken out in someone else's mistake. Pace car hits pit road. Yaley leads the field back into the restart zone on lap 67. There's the green flag. 18 car of Nemechek got a pretty good jump on the 52 down to turn 1. Can't quite make the move to the inside, now trying to pressure the 52 on the exit. Running a lower lane than the 52 car right now. Yaley's going to be able to use up some of the cushion to clear the 18 of Nemechek. On the inside, Martin Truex Jr. takes up the third position. We got a stack up farther back being caused by the 25 of Sheldon Creed, the damaged car that is already one lap down. Nemechek still challenging the 52 car, but Yaley's able to hold him down on the inside lanes by using up just a little bit of the cushion on the exit of turn 4. Using it just enough to clear the 18 car down in the run to turn 1. Right now, your top 5, believe it or not, is composed of Joe Gibbs Racing and Rick Ware Racing. Not the two teams I really expected to run up front. Now, the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek back to the inside of the 52 of Yaley, with the 51 to the inside of the 19. Back to the stripe. Close battle for the top spot. 52 car of Yaley holds it at the start-finish line, but through turns 1 and 2, the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek takes up the top spot once again. On the 37 of Eric Jones is on pit road right now. Overheating issues on the 37. Side-by-side battle once again between the 52 and 18 cars entering turn number 3. Yaley trying to slide up in front of the 18 car, but Nemechek uses momentum off the high line. That time by, though, Yaley edged him at the start-finish line, and J.J. Yaley's back out front. The 51 of Bobby Pierce back up into second on the inside. Obviously, the 18 car is going to try and pinch him down on the exit. At the stripe, it was still the 51 to hold second spot, and once again, a Rick Ware Racing controlled top 2. Unfortunately, the two other Rick Ware cars of Chris Windham and Joey Gase did not make the field, but I'll tell you what, they are doing a fantastic job with the two cars that did. I should mention that the 26 car of Tyler Ankrum is actually one lap down. Fell a lap down much earlier in the race due to overheating issues. They had to get the grill openings cleared. However, he's one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now and currently would get a Busch Clash eligible spot if the race were to end right now and no one could set a faster lap time than him. So he currently resides 26th position, one lap down, but if he were on the lead lap, he'd be in 5th position. as the 19 of Truex runs turn 1 extremely wide, gets way up into the cushion, and dropped down to 4th position with Nemechek taking up 3rd. Yaley doing a good job right now keeping that 52 car out front. Bobby Pierce in tow behind him in 2nd position. 18 of John Hunter Nemechek, only about 6/10 back from Yaley, running in 3rd position. Truex has started to drop back as well, likely due to hopping the cushion entering turn 1 just a couple laps ago. Lap traffic once again into the mix. The field gets around the 02 of Dave Blaney once again. And now the 52 to the inside, the 2 of Matt DiBenedetto. Contact right there on the exit of turn number 4 between the 2 and 51 cars. They chased it up the hill entering turn number 1 with now the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek on the inside of the 51. Side by side down to the start-finish line. At the stripe, it was a little bit too close to call, but scoring gave it to the 51 car, Bobby Pierce, to hold the 2nd position. But now the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek has raced his way back into 2nd. Look at this. Ankrum has actually gotten around the 19 of Truex. He is within range to potentially get back onto the lead lap, but he's running out of time. Oh, contact between the 20 of Brandon Jones and the 1 car of Kurt Busch. Jones is fortunate enough to save it. Very dicey moment right there on the exit of turn number 4. Got a side-by-side battle for 2nd position between the 51 of Bobby Pierce and 18 of John Hunter Nemechek. Yellow flag is back out. Caution flag being displayed on the speedway. J.J. Yaley is your race leader. Bobby Pierce looks like he's going to hold 2nd position in a close battle back to the stripe. Pierce gets the 2nd spot in a continued Rick Ware 1-2. And Dave Blaney's poor night has just gotten a little bit worse. He gets hit on the exit of turn 4 by the 20 of Brandon Jones, turned across the nose of his son's car. The 12 car of Ryan Blaney then slides up right in front of the 66 of Mike Marlar. So now the 02 of Dave Blaney is officially out of the race. Not exactly the comeback that Dave Blaney wanted, but he still showed legitimate pace early on in the race before he got involved in quite a few incidents. And so this caution flag means that we will end stage number 2 under the yellow flag, with J.J. Yaley sweeping stage 1 and stage 2 in the number 52 car for Rick Ware Racing, with Bobby Pierce taking home 2nd, John Hunter Nemechek 3rd, Martin Truex Jr. 4th, and Justin Haley in 5th. And so now, after just a quick commercial break, we will be back right here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for the beginning of the final stage. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by RFJ, the official home of the RFJ AI series. By Knife Friend 725, the brains behind Project Retroval. And by Anthony's Online Simulation League. And so now race leader J.J. Yaley leads the entire lead lap field into the pits for what will likely be the only pit stop you need to make in tonight's race. And John Hunter Nemechek has passed 2 cars on pit road with an incredibly fast stop, taking away the race lead once again in the 18 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. The driver got off in 2nd was Bobby Pierce, 3rd Justin Haley, 4th Chase Briscoe, and 5th Kurt Busch. And unfortunately for J.J. Yaley, after dominating the first half of this race, Yaley lost a full 18 spots on pit road with a terrible stop, getting out in 19th position. There is still the amount of time left to carve his way back through the field, but it's definitely going to be tough. And the driver who currently holds the honor of fastest lap of the race is Joey Logano in the 22 car. Remember that he actually set the fastest lap at Louisville as well. Nemechek's got his work cut out for him on this restart, having 3 lap cars starting up in front of him, those being William Byron, Ryan Preece, and Matt DiBenedetto. As the pace car hits pit road, Nemechek leads the field in the restart zone for the final stage. There's the green flag. On lap traffic, bottles up the field. 18 car almost gets turned around down to turn number 1. That opens up the door for Stuart Friesen. Down on the inside, going from 6th to 2nd. Passes 5 cars through turns 1 and 2 because the massive checkup. And look at this, contact between the 8 and 31, those being pseudo teammates Reddick and Ty Dillon. Look at Friesen. Now it's starting to go side by side with the number 18 of John Hunter Nemechek, forcing Nemechek to use up a little bit of the cushion. Haley Deegan as well going 4 wide farther back. Friesen trying to go 2 in a row. Here at Bristol, trouble in the back. A very large accident involving 5 or more cars, and we also have a second incident on the backstretch as Deegan gets turned around. The field flying apart in the final stage. Back to the stripe, it is Friesen, your race leader. Stuart Friesen out front in the number 45 for 2311 Racing, edging out the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek at the start-finish line above the 20 of Brandon Jones, 8 of Reddick, and 1 of Kurt Busch. Well, there was an awful lot to take in on that restart, but first take a look at the dive into turn 1 made by the 45 of Stuart Friesen. You saw the 18 car got disrupted a little bit right there on the entry to turn number 1 because the 51 of Bobby Pierce tried to force him into the corner with the bumper. That opened up the door for the 45 to squeeze by down on the inside to take up second. Then the 00 of Daniel Suarez makes contact with the lap car of Matt DiBenedetto, turning him down in front of the field involving Michael Self and Martin Truex Jr. Truex hits the wall hard enough to actually cause terminal damage on the 19 car of Truex. Also gets hit by the 61 of Christopher Bell up into the 48-26. Plenty of cars involved in this accident into turn number 1. And then the second incident involving Hailie Deegan started when the 78 of Golobic made contact with the 53 of Briscoe, turning the 53 down to the 36, sending Deegan around down the backstretch. And then that forced Larson, Ty Dillon, and Bobby Pierce up into the outside wall as well, because they had to try and miss the accident. And an absolutely phenomenal restart for the 52 car of J.J. Yeley. He avoided all the carnage to drive his way up into 9th position. It is not over for Yeley. Along with the 19 car Martin Truex Jr., the number 2 of Matt DiBenedetto was also dropped out of the race after that incident, so they will be credited with 31st and 32nd respectively. And unfortunately for 2311, their main driver, Bubba Wallace, just barely missed out on making the field here at Bristol. Got edged out by Hailie Deegan in heat number 2. But they could quite possibly take home their first win as an organization with their second car. Stuart Friesen in the 45, currently out front, going for 2 in a row. Pace car hits pit road. Stuart Friesen leads the field onto the front straightaway and into the restart zone for lap number 100. There's the green flag. Nemechek gets a good restart on the 45 of Friesen, gets to the inside, but here comes the 20 of Brandon Jones as well. 24 car of Byron, the lap car, uses up some of the cushion as the 22 pounds the inside wall. Caution flag is back out as the 20 retakes the race lead with the 45 bouncing off the wall. Yellow flag waves with this being the race back to the caution. The 8 car of Reddick has actually raced his way up into 3rd. Friesen has dropped down to 4th position with Brandon Jones, your race leader. Above the 18 car of John Hunter Nemechek, 8 of Reddick, 45 of Stuart Friesen, and 53 of Chase Briscoe. Believe it or not, Joey Logano actually had the fastest car on the racetrack, but while racing for 8th position with J.J. Yeley, Yeley possibly gets a little bit too aggressive, forces his way to the inside of the 22 car, turns Logano down to the inside wall with a hard front-end impact. Then the 36 car of Hailie Deegan makes contact with the rear end of Logano's car, bringing out the caution flag. Just take a look at the field right now. We have about 45 laps remaining, and there is not a single car on track without some type of damage. An absolute race of attrition here at Bristol, but believe it or not, we still have 28 cars running. Take a look at the 78 car of Shane Golobic. He has raced his way up into 8th position. And also, watch out for the 52 car of J.J. Yeley. He's going to be very aggressive on this restart, and he's restarting in 7th position with a legitimate shot at taking home the victory. Pace car hits pit road. Brandon Jones leads the field onto the front straightaway and into the restart zone. There's the green flag. JGR currently holds the top 2 positions once again. Tight race down to turn number 1. Here comes the 8 of Reddick. 3 wide on the inside. 20 car Brandon Jones forced to use some of the cushion. Tyler Reddick slides it down to turn number 3. Friesen going 4 wide on the bottom. Into the wall goes the 20. At the stripe, it was the 18 car to hold the top spot. Friesen all the way on the bottom. And Stuart Friesen takes up the race lead with the 53 of Briscoe out of nowhere. Briscoe takes up the 2nd position, 4 wide for 3rd once again. 18 up into the outside wall. 77 of Justin Haley forces his way down on the bottom to take up the 3rd position. Briscoe and Friesen, 2 dirt racers, 1-2. Stuart Friesen uses up some of the cushion on the exit of turn number 4 and clears the 53 car down into turn 1. Chase Briscoe won at Bristol last season on the concrete, now trying to take home a Cup Series victory here on the dirt. And you know what that would mean? 2 for 2 in his career at Bristol. But now Stuart Friesen still trying to hold that momentum off the outside lane. In turn number 1, Friesen goes a little bit wide, lets the 53 car take away the race lead. Lap traffic right up in front of them. There's the 61. The 45 of Friesen makes contact with the lap car of Christopher Bell, and the race leader of Briscoe gets up into the outside wall. Pretty significant damage on Friesen's car. He brings that 45 down into pit road. Must have gotten severe radiator damage, and here comes Yaley out of nowhere. An unfortunate break for Stuart Friesen, getting radiator damage this late in the race while having a shot at taking home the victory, but that opens the door wide open for J.J. Yaley. Yaley goes side by side with Briscoe for the top spot. Briscoe holding the momentum off the very outside lane. At the stripe, he holds the top spot. But through turns 1 and 2, J.J. Yaley in his unsponsored number 52 for Rick Ware Racing takes away the race lead once again. Larson battling with the 20 of Brandon Jones. And how about the 18 car of John Hunter Nemechek? Still runs in third position. How much would it mean for a substitute driver to take home the victory here tonight? It might reshape the future of Joe Gibbs Racing. 57 of Larson on the inside of Justin Haley. Going to try and take up the 4th position. Looks like he's going to do it. Here comes the 53 car of Briscoe back on the inside, but once again, Yaley clears him on the exit of turn number 4. There's the 45 of Friesen back out on the racetrack, but completely out of contention of winning. Briscoe now side by side with Yaley. Caution flag is out. Yaley edges the 53 of Briscoe back to the start-finish line. J.J. Yaley is your race leader above the 53 of Chase Briscoe, 18 of John Hunter Nemechek, 57 of Larson, and 8 of Tyler Reddick. Absolutely phenomenal racing here at Bristol. And look at this, the 47 car of Stenhouse gets turned to the inside wall, up into the air and over. Barrel rolling down the back straightaway and landing on top of the 31 of Ty Dillon. A horrific crash here at Bristol as the 47 tumbles spectacularly down the back straightaway and finally comes to rest. And here's the onboard with Stenhouse Jr. Absolutely nothing he could do right there, and a very vicious rollover right there on the backstretch. Stenhouse got out of the car under his own power. However, he is experiencing some symptoms of G-force sickness, believe it or not, after the speed at which he was tumbling, because you could tell that that car was spinning rather quickly when it was barrel rolling. So Stenhouse may possibly be taken to a nearby hospital for further evaluation. You know, we've seen some pretty bad flips before in our sport. The ones that come to mind at first are Davey Allison's at Pocono and Ricky Rudd's at Daytona years ago, that both gave the drivers pretty significant G-force sickness, and the speed at which we saw the 47 car tumble here at Bristol was a little concerning. Some memories of, in particular, Allison's flip started to come back after seeing how quickly the 47 car made its revolutions. I will say this, though, that Stenhouse has probably had some of the worst luck this year of any competitor. He has now flipped at both Sonoma and the Bristol dirt track this season. Things are not going too well for him. Pace car hits pit road. J.J. Yaley leads the field onto the front straightaway and into the restart zone. Green flag is back out. Here comes the 53 jumping up to the outside of the 52. Tries to send it in deep into the corner. Larson 3 wide on the inside. Larson trying to take up the 2nd position. And it looks like he might be able to do it. 53 car is going to be able to hold momentum off the outside lane and clear the 57 down to turn number 1. There's the lap car of Ben Rhodes down on the inside. Getting up into the mix with the leaders. Makes contact with Larson on the exit of turn number 2. A very dicey moment right there. Ben Rhodes currently runs in 18th position. Rhodes hopeful that he can get around the number 52 car of Yaley and get back onto the lead lap if a caution were to come out. Larson still racing with the 44 of Rhodes, however, as the 51 of Bobby Pierce has actually just taken up the 4th position. And Larson has finally cleared the number 44 of Ben Rhodes, now with a straight shot up to the 2nd and 1st place runners of Briscoe and Yaley. Here comes Briscoe back to the inside, the 52 car of J.J. Yaley. Side by side down the back stretch, now into turn number 3. Yaley going to use up some of the cushion right there using the momentum off the high line, beats him back to the start-finish line, entering turn number 1. Chase Briscoe takes away the race lead off the 52 of J.J. Yaley. Briscoe back out front at Bristol Motor Speedway. He took the victory on the concrete surface last season, as now Bobby Pierce on the inside of the 57 of Larson. Pierce trying to take up the third running position. Looks like he might be able to do it. 52 of J.J. Yaley still side by side with the 53 of Chase Briscoe. Through turns 3 and 4, Briscoe going to use up some of the cushion. Try and build that run back down to the stripe. Briscoe holds the lead at the start-finish line. Through turns 1 and 2, he can't quite hold the top spot. Gets up into the cushion and drops back as the 52 car of Yaley back out front with less than 20 laps to go. Bobby Pierce has raced his way back up into third position, getting around the 57 of Larson up on the outside line. Here comes the 53 back to the inside. The 52 of Yaley can't quite do it. Yaley still prevails. Farther back, the 77 of Justin Haley still resides in 5th position. Haley does not have very much dirt racing experience prior to this, just a couple starts at Eldora, but that organization is definitely showing a lot of speed here tonight. Here comes the 53 of Briscoe back to the inside, the 52 of Yaley. Side by side, once again, Yaley used the momentum off the top to beat him at the stripe. Through turns 1 and 2, Yaley goes a little bit wide on entry, and the 53 of Briscoe back out front. Just 15 laps to go. An incredible battle forming with the lap car of Eric Jones right up in front of the leaders. Yaley back to the inside of Briscoe on the exit of turn number 2. There's the lap car of Eric Jones into the way. That forces the 53 car just a little bit wide on the exit of turn number 4 and allows Yaley to slip by and take the race lead once again. J.J. Yaley trying to claim his first career NASCAR Cup Series win after beginning his full-time career back in 2006. Has waited oh so long to have such a good shot at the victory, and it could come here tonight. And the caution flag is out. Yellow flag being waved on the speedway with the 52 car of Yaley out front, above the 53 of Chase Briscoe, 51 of Bobby Pierce, 57 of Larson, and 77 of Justin Haley. 14th place runner Kurt Busch gets hit in the left rear quarter panel by the lap car of Dave Blaney. Almost catches it, but gets into the inside wall and slides up into the 12, which ultimately gives him rear end damage once he makes contact with the outside retaining wall, bringing out the most recent caution flag. How about Michael Self in the 5 car for Levine Family Racing? We have not been able to talk about him too much over the course of tonight's race, but currently resides in 13th position, still on the lead lap. He has a good shot at getting a top 10 in his first career Cup Series start. Also, Josh Bilicki currently runs in 9th position in the 71 for Tommy Baldwin Racing. An incredible race going for Bilicki with very limited dirt racing experience. That car is damaged on pretty much every single side, but still good enough to run in 9th position. That really proves how little aerodynamics matter at this racetrack. The only lap car in the mix with these front runners is the 37 of Eric Jones, which means that the top 4 contenders will be running nose to tail on this restart. And folks, it is do or die time now, because we are going to get this restart with just 7 laps to go. J.J. Yaley trying to hold on and claim his first career NASCAR Cup Series win. Pace car hits pit road. Yaley leads the field back onto the front straightaway and into the restart zone. Green flag is out. This time the 53 jumps up to the outside once again and maybe tries a fake out. Now cuts down to the bottom. Briscoe side by side with Yaley for the top spot down the backstretch. On contact farther back, 37 of Jones gets turned around, hard into the wall with the 44 and 20. Racing back to the stripe, we got a battle between the 53 and 52. Contact between the 57 and 51. Pierce hard into the inside wall with Yaley just barely edging out Briscoe back to the start-finish line. It is J.J. Yaley, your race leader, above Chase Briscoe, then Kyle Larson, Bobby Pierce, but he's coming down pit road for his damage, and the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek. Here's what happened on the restart. The number 77 of Justin Haley makes a little bit of contact with the 37 of Eric Jones, turning him down in front of the field, right in front of the 71 of Bilicki, although Bilicki manages to get through this without much damage. 44 car of Ben Rhodes really pounds the 37. 20 of Brandon Jones gets involved in this, hard up into the outside wall with quite a bit of damage on the 20 car, but the worst damage is on the 37 of Eric Jones. Then we had an absolute melee back to the start-finish line. 57 makes contact with the 51, turning Bobby Pierce hard into the wall, and the 77 also got hooked by the 71 of Josh Bilicki. And unfortunately, Pierce had to bring his car down pit road and fell one lap down. With Pierce dropping back, that has moved Chase Elliott up into the top 5. And we are going to go green with just one lap to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway to determine the winner of the inaugural Food City Dirt Race. J.J. Yaley trying to hold on. Pace car hits pit road. Yaley leads the field back into the restart zone on the final lap. Green flag. 53 car back up to the outside. Gonna try the fake out once again. Cuts down to the bottom. Side by side for the top spot between Yaley and Briscoe. Here they come. Back down to the start-finish line. Yaley going to use up some of the cushion. Drag rates back down to the stripe. It is Briscoe taking home the victory. Edging out the number 52 of J.J. Yaley at the start-finish line. Chase Briscoe takes home the win in the inaugural Food City Dirt Race here at Bristol. Absolute heartbreak for J.J. Yaley. But the number 53 car, Briscoe, timed the move almost perfectly. Got down to the inside through turns 1 and 2. Got side by side with the 52 car of Yaley. Then really sent it into turn number 3 to try and force Yaley up the racetrack and maybe potentially hop the cushion. Yaley held great momentum, though, coming back to the stripe, but it just was not enough. Chase Briscoe takes home the victory by 15 1/1000ths of a second above the 52 car of J.J. Yaley. That's our third closest finish of the year, and third finish that has come down to a margin closer than 2 1/100ths. How about this battle back to the start-finish line for fourth position? The 18 of Nemechek gets up into the outside wall, allowing Shane Golobic to take up fourth. An absolutely crushing loss for the number 52 team of J.J. Yaley. They dominated the race, won the first 2 stages, fought back from a very slow pit stop, but unfortunately lost out on the victory on the very final lap by less than 2 1/100ths of a second, with Chase Briscoe taking home the victory in the number 53 car, scoring his second win of the season. As you recall, he won earlier this year at Auto Club Speedway. This win also marks Briscoe's third career Cup Series win, and he's now undefeated at Bristol. He's ran 2 races here, one on concrete, one on dirt, and it doesn't matter what surface you have on this racetrack, he has so far won every time that he has showed up. Kyle Larson actually raced his way all the way up into third position after winning heat number 2. Got a pretty good finish here after winning the Coca-Cola 600 last week. Shane Golobic with a great 4th place finish in his first career NASCAR Cup Series start. Chase Elliott raced his way all the way up into 5th position. Nemechek finished in 6th position, dropping back a couple spots on the last lap. Reddick brought the 8 car home in 7th. Bilicki in 8th position. Michael Self in his Cup Series debut in 9th spot, and Justin Haley in 10th position. A great rebound for Justin Haley. After his last few weeks, he has not really been running too well, more or less being involved in incidents not of his own making. And believe it or not, the driver who set the fastest lap of the race was the 26 of Tyler Ankrum, who finished actually 2 laps down in 18th position. But Ankrum is now eligible for the Busch Clash of 2022 at the Daytona Road Course. I'll tell you what, if J.J. Yaley does not get some kind of sponsorship after this race, I will be terribly disappointed. Even knowing he did not bring home the race win, he led a race-high 77 laps out of 150. That is more than half the race the number 52 car was out front. Unfortunately, they were not able to bring home the victory. Briscoe beat him out on the last lap by only leading 8 laps in the entire race. But still, Yaley is definitely deserving of a good opportunity because this race was absolutely his race to win. But anyway, on to the point standings. Kevin Harvick, really no one took advantage of his last place finish here at Bristol. Joey Logano could have taken advantage of it had he not dropped a lap down and gotten in trouble in an accident earlier on in the race. But he only closed the gap from 19 points down to 13. So really not that big of a pickup from Charlotte to Bristol. Denny Hamlin still resides third in points, 27 points back, but he gets the tiebreaker above the 9 car of Elliott, who is tied with him for the 3rd position. So Elliott currently in 4th spot. That means he has moved up 1 spot in the standings after Bristol. Matt DiBenedetto dropped down 1 spot in the point standings. He is currently 42 points back. Erik Jones stayed in 6th. He has 48 points out of the point lead. Tyler Reddick picked up a full 4 positions in the standings up to 7th. He has 58 points out of the point lead. Kyle Larson picked up 6 spots in the standings up to 8th. He has 60 points out of the point lead. Martin Truex Jr. dropped down 1 spot in the standings to 9th. He has 69 points out of the point lead. And Alex Bowman stayed in 10th position in the standings. He has 70 points out of the point lead. Clint Boyer, after DNQing for the race here at Bristol, he dropped down 4 more spots in the standings, down to 13th. He has 80 points out of the point lead. And the 53 car of Chase Briscoe picked up 9 spots in the standings with his 2nd win on the season. He has 86 points out of the point lead. Unlike last year, where he was very dominant in the regular season, but got eliminated because he had yet to win a race, this year Briscoe not doing too well in the regular season points, but has 2 wins to his credit and is guaranteed a position in the playoffs. In your playoff standings, Kevin Harvick, Chase Briscoe, Brandon Jones, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Josh Bilicki, and Jan Magnussen are all locked in to the playoffs with their wins. Currently, the best of the rest in the standings is Joey Logano, who is 61 points above. Matt DiBenedetto is 32 above. Erik Jones is 26. Tyler Reddick is 16 points above the cutoff line. Then Alex Bowman is only 4 points above. Brad Keselowski is only 1 point above, with Daniel Suarez 1 point out. 2019 Series champion Clint Boyer is 7 points out of making the playoffs. Justin Allgaier is 16 points out of making the playoffs, and Chris Buescher is 19 points out of making it as well. And so, folks, we hope that you have enjoyed our telecast of the Food City Dirt Race here from the Bristol Motor Speedway Dirt Track. The next time you'll be seeing us will be midweek on Post Tech, where we go over, obviously, all the action here at Bristol in NASCAR's return to dirt racing. And also keep in mind that on Post Tech we will be talking about the NASCAR Next Gen reveal, where the 3 manufacturers that will be participating in the 2022 Cup Series season reveal their next generation car. The next time you'll be seeing us covering a full NASCAR Cup Series event will be up in the Pocono Mountains for the 2 Gander RV duels. And so now we congratulate Chase Briscoe and company on their 2nd win together in the 2021 season, claiming the victory in NASCAR's long-awaited return to dirt track racing.